So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you a story time about when one of my friend tried to sell me into sex trafficking. Alright, so let's get into it. So backstory, and if it is that you guys hear me saying a lot, is to get on my thoughts, so bear with me please. Yes, the backstory. So after I left high school, I went to Portmore Community College to do CAPE. So when I started PCC, because that's the abbreviation for it, when I started PCC, one of my friends from high school, well, in high school we weren't really as close, but we were still kind of close because we knew each other, family, and people used to think that we were cousins because they said we look alike at the time, so we used to go along with it and call each other cousins. So me and her came from high school, went to PCC, but she was doing some more subjects there. I was doing CAPE, but we started hanging out and became more close, as you know, because it is that we were coming from the same school. So while it is that she was there, she started hanging with this girl. So I'm going to name them. So the girl that I came from high school with, I'm going to call her Devil because that's her real nickname in real life. And the girl that the duo was, I'm going to call her Fan. Alright, so when it is that Devil came to PCC, she started hanging with Fan. And because it is that she started hanging with Fan and I was hanging with her, automatically we all became friends. Like the three of us started hanging out. Yeah, so the three of us started hanging out, and Fan was a little bit older than all of us, right? So she was probably in her mid-20s at the time. We were teenagers just coming out of high school, and because it is that she was older than us, of course she had more experience, especially with men, and she was like a sugar baby at the time. So you know, certain like sometimes she'll want us to do stuff and we won't be able to do it, or go places and we won't be able to go because of course we were still teenagers living in our parents' house, can't afford certain stuff. And you know, like, she had a sugar daddy, she could do that, we can't do that. So what happened was, like, you know, if she wanted to go out sometime, a lot of times she'll pay for it. Like, she'll pay for the stuff because she's a kind person. That's the thing, she's a kind person, so she'll pay for it. She don't have any problem. Like, she's a very boastful person too, so she don't have any problem. Like, you know what, I'll pay for this, you know, I'm that bitch. That's the type of person she was. So anyways, she'll take care of stuff. She'll, like, we were her young company and she know that we couldn't do certain stuff, so she didn't have any problem, and she was kind. She was a hot girl. Like, Fan was a hot girl, right? So that's the whole backstory. So anyways, now we left PCC. We both, like, all three of us went our different ways, and as I told you guys before, like, Fan and I wasn't as close as Devil and I, because Devil and I came from high school, and Fan was always kind of closer to Devil because Devil is our mutual friends. Like, to be honest, Fan and I, we didn't have any issue, but we weren't like if it wasn't for Devil, then Fan and I wouldn't have been friends, to be honest, because she wasn't my type of person to hang with. Like, you know, I didn't usually go for those type of group of girls or whatever, but she was cool and we were all three cool together. Anyways, so as I left high school, all three of us went our different ways, but every now and then we'll link up and, like, go have food, go get food, go do this, go do that, whatever. So, you know, I went on to college. Devil went on to doing some cooking stuff. Fan, we weren't that close. I didn't know what she was doing. I'll just hear now and then we'll just get a call like, hey, you want to go do this or do that? And I'll be like, yes, no, whatever. So we left school now, and like probably like like couple months or to a year or whatever. Like we'll link up like every 3 months or every 6 months. That was it. Like we'll link up one day, we'll go out, go to clubbing, go eat, and that was it until it's time to link up again every 3 to 6 months. So one day out of the blue, like at this time I just move out on my own, like adulting, like serious adulting, having bills, having a job, blah blah blah. And I move out on my own and I got a call. She was like, hey girl, like what's up, like long time no see, like you don't talk to me, like you dash me away, like you know, like let's link up, like what we doing. I was like, no girl, like of course we can link up, blah blah blah, like what you want to do, whatever whatever. And she was like, what are you doing for spring break? And I'm like, spring break, like you know in Jamaica we don't celebrate that stuff. Like you asked me what I'm doing for spring break, and she was like, yeah, what are you doing for spring? I was like, I don't have any plans, but I told her that I had a job, so you know that's a commitment, like I can't be anywhere for a long period of time now. Like no, I'm an adult, like I'm adulting. Yes, so now I'm an adult, I'm adulting, you know. So she was like, hey, do you want to go to Mexico? I'm like, Mexico, like. And at that time Mexico wasn't as popping as it is now, because like you didn't hear of a lot of persons going to Mexico, to be honest. Like people only talk about Mexico when there was like, oh, something bad. Not a lot of person was going to Mexico. It wasn't no vacation spot at the time. You barely hear people saying, oh, they want to go to Mexico to have fun. And she was like, yeah, do you want to go to Mexico? I was like, yeah, I want to go to Mexico, why not? Like I've never been to Mexico before. And if you know me, if you're my friend or you know me personally, you would know that I like to travel. I'm always down for an adventure. I'm always down to travel. So when she said you want to go to Mexico, I was like, yeah, like I didn't know, you no matter when did I could get the money or whatever, like I wanted to go and I'm gonna go. Yeah, so I was like, when are you thinking of going? And she was like, in the next 2 weeks. So meanwhile she's telling me that now I'm on my phone at the same time looking at flights just to get an idea, like, you know, flights, accommodation, food, clothes, you know, all that good stuff. And she was like, in the next 2 weeks. And I remember like I saw flights for like $700. I'm like, you know what, like I don't know if it is that I'll be able to afford that in the next 2 weeks, because that's like kind of short notice. And she was like, girl, don't worry about the flights, like I got you, all you need to do is show up, like we're going to Mexico. I was like, okay, because when she said that, because of the type of person she is, like there was no red flag, because I know like she'll pay for stuff, like you know, like she's the type of person that does that stuff. And because it is that she, as I told you before, she was a sugar baby, so yeah. So when she said that, there was no immediate red flag about how she's going to afford to do this and do that. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, you tell Deborah? And she was like, yeah, she's going to see her right now to talk to her. I was like, okay, cool. So you know, I get really excited now, because you know it's the three of us again, like hanging out, going to Mexico in a different country, like it was gonna be lit. So she was going to link up with Devon. I was like, okay. After I asked her where she was, she's saying that she coming to Kingston shortly, because they live in Portmore. So she said that she coming to Kingston shortly. So I was like, okay, when you're in Kingston, you can link me and we talk about this in details, right? So anyway, she hung up. As she hung up, yeah, so as she hung up, I called Devon. I was like, hey, you heard from Fan? And she was like, yeah, she heard from Fan, and she was telling her all the juice about going to Mexico and how she's going to come there to speak to her about it. So I was like, okay, cool. When she gone, let me know what you think and let me know what's what. And she was like, okay, cool. So she hung up the phone. Anyways, probably like an hour 45 minutes after that, she was like, she called me and she was like, oh, like send me your address. And she sent me, I sent her my address, and she came like in the next like probably like 15 minutes there about. So when she came now, she was like, oh, she's outside. So I was like, okay, come, I'll let you in. And she was like, oh, she came in, and then when she came in, she start talking for a bit, and then she was like, oh, there's somebody outside with her. So instead of, because it is that I am very particular, so I like I am so particular, I said to her, you know what, instead of telling the person they can come in, let me go outside and we all just sit in the car and talk. All right, so I went outside. When I went outside, like, the guy was sitting in the passenger seat. Obviously she's the one that drove, and I sat in the back seat in between the two of them. So she was like, so I was like, okay, cool, so tell me more about Mexico. So, and this guy was being mad weird. So every minute he was on his phone speaking Spanish and all of that stuff. Like, to be honest, sometimes I feel like he wasn't even speaking Spanish, like he was trying to make up the language, like, you know, like he was being mad sus. But anyways, so I said, tell me more about Mexico. She was like, oh girl, it's going to be lit, I've been there before, we're going to have so much fun and make so much money. So I'm like, no. I realized, like, alright, so first I asked her, so how long you plan on spending in Mexico? She was like, about a month. So I'm like, a month? Like, girl, like, remember, I have work, like, I have responsibilities, I can't leave for a month. Like, remember, I have bills to pay. No, I'm not no young nigga no more. Like, I have bills to pay, I cannot leave for a month. And she was like, girl, don't worry about that little job, because we'll be making so much money in Mexico, you won't even need to worry about stuff like that. I'm like, huh? Making so much money in Mexico, like, what are we gonna be doing, like, in Mexico? Like, I don't get it. Like, what you mean make money in Mexico? I thought it was a vacation, not a workation. So, yes, I was like, I thought this was a vacation. She was like, yeah, we'll be at this hotel, and you know, like, you know, she didn't even go into details about what type of work we'll be doing, just that we'll be paid. And then that was like a red flag for me. So when she started saying that now, I was like, okay, like, I don't understand. Like, so what are we, I keep asking her, what are we getting paid to do? Like, I don't understand, like, why it is that we are on a vacation getting paid. That's just too good to be true to me. And then she was like, girl, they'll even take care of her clothes or hair, like her accommodation. I was like, okay, so where exactly is this place is that we're going to stay? And she was like, oh, it's at a hotel. But I don't, to be honest, it was so long ago, I don't remember what exactly did she say, but she said something that made me realize that we won't be taking a plane there. So she was like yeah, because you have to meet the boat on the 22nd or something like that, because this happened early on in the year, like probably around March, April, thereabout. And I remember she said it was the 20 something. She was like, yeah, because we have to meet the boat around the 22nd. I was like, meet the boat? I was like, how is it that we get in there? She was like, oh, we're going to take a boat. Like, she was like, we're going to take a boat to this port and blah blah blah. I'm like, that's immediate red flag for me. Like, a natural, immediately when she said boat, me I think about banana boat, and good girl that traveling and no banana boat go nowhere. Yeah. So when she said boat, that was like the immediate red flag. And like, she was like, oh yeah, and we're going to be on the boat with some men and all of that stuff. I'm like, I don't understand, like, what are we going there to do exactly? And she was like, it's nothing to be worried about. And then the guy charmed me now, and the guy started looking at me, was like, oh, you look good, like your shape's so good, like they'll love you. And I'm like in my mind, I was very vocal about this. I was like, who is going to love me? Like, what's going on? Like, why it is, I don't understand. But at this time, it's like I already, like, have enough sense to know what is going on here. But then I was mad sus. Like, I was like, wonder if she's in some type of trouble, because I don't know this guy. Every minute him going on the phone and speaking at some Spanish language. So, like, I don't know what's going on here. So at this point, all I'm thinking about, you know what? I'm in some type of danger. I need to play cool and go back in my yard. So we was talking, they were talking, and I keep calming the situation. I was like, okay, like I keep making it seem like even though I was panicking, like I had to make it seem like I wasn't panicking. And I kept looking at her, because remember I'm in the back seat in between the both of them, and I kept looking at her when I'm talking to her to see if she was going to give me no eye movement to say she in some type of danger. Because all she told me, I said, girl, what we gonna like all me do what she do? I go say, so I grab the manager. So ask the girl that if I do I quit 2 times, I see me the thump up the money there. Like that's all I wanted her to do. And good girl was so, it was she was acting herself, like she was so normal, like she didn't give me no hint or nothing. The only thing sus about how she was acting was what she was asking me to do. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, you know, I tried to act like I wasn't panicking just to get out of the situation, get out of the vehicle. I don't know this strange man, him can drive it with me at any time. I was like, you know what, I'll think about it. I'll let you know. I'll give you an answer by weekend, all of that good stuff. And I exit the car. And when I exit the car, when I went inside, I was so nervous, I was so shaken, I didn't know what to do. So I called my friend. I called Devil, which is a mutual friend, and I was like, what Fan said to you? Like, what she said to you? Because what she said to me now made a sense. And she was like, you should tell her father was here, and she gonna her father tell her to run her away because I said she wants to sell her. And but she was telling me, but how she was telling me, she was even too calm about it. Because, like, you know, when somebody betray you or somebody start put you in danger, when you not expect it, is like you start, like you feel unsafe. But she was so calm about it. It's like she was expecting it, or like, you know, like she didn't put that past her. But for me, like, I'm such a genuine person, like somebody does something like that to me, like it would be hard to come to terms with, to say, all right, then somebody can do something like that to you. And I started panicking. I was like, you know what, like, this person know where I live. Like, she was in the car with a strange man. If no one live, me cannot come out of my house at any time, and somebody grab me, I'ma start panicking. I was calling my boyfriend at the time, and I was telling him about the situation. And as I was telling him about the situation, the girl Fan called, and Fan was like, oh girl, like, I want you to really think about it. I want you to really come. I'm begging you. I'll do anything if you come. Like, you're going to have so much fun. You're going to make so much money. And listen, you see, when she told me that, when she said that, when she was on the phone begging to me, it was confirmed that something was wrong. She was in some type of danger or something, because this is not that girl. That girl don't beg. That girl is so boastful. That girl, like, for her to be begging me, why you gonna beg me for do something was supposedly beneficial to me? Like, why you need to beg me to come somewhere where you pay me? Like, if it is legit, you don't need to beg me for come. Like, if it is legit, like, I kept thinking, like, girl, do not beg me for come nowhere. Like, what is going on? Like, so when she said that, now it's like, all right, then, like, that made me even more antsy. And I was like, you know what, I have to think about it, blah blah blah. Like, you know, I have responsibility. I can't just leave for a month and all of that good stuff. And I started asking her, like, so you okay, like, you know, whatever. And she was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm just going to go here to pick up something, blah blah blah, and I'm going home, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, like, she didn't give me no indication. So anyways, no, like, after she hung up and I started telling my boyfriend, and I didn't know what to do. I started Google the child agency, something within Jamaica where for report cases. Like, I Googled that, and I was on the phone with, like, waiting for somebody for like 2 hours, like literally 2 hours. And listen to me, Jamaica, you want to help people. Why it is that there's such a waste, or why is it so difficult to get in contact with somebody when it is that they need help? Like, you're telling me that you have this phone line to help people in case of no emergency, but I have to wait 2 hours, almost 2 hours on the line to get connected to somebody. Like, I was literally on the line for almost 2 hours and still never get connected to nobody. I had to hang up. And then And when I hung up now, I call another friend, Big Red, which probably if you know me, you know these people that I'm talking about, because yeah. So I called Big Red, which Big Red know her too, and I was like, Big Red, and I was telling her the situation, and Big Red told me that she did something similar to somebody that she knew. I was like, okay, so she really would try to put me and Devil in a situation like this. Like, you really would want to try that, girl? Like, it was still so puzzling to me, and I was like, you know what, I'm still not sure if she in no type of danger. So I started monitoring her social media to see if she posting, because at the same time, you know, it's for me, like, even though it was very obvious what she was trying to do, I still was thinking that she was probably in some type of danger, and I wouldn't want to be responsible for something to happen, and I had the opportunity to prevent it, and I didn't prevent it, you know, because I was only thinking about me. So I started monitoring her social media to see if she posting, to see if everything is as normal, and she was going on as normal as ever. And even today, I still cannot come to grips with what she was really trying to do, but it was so evident, like, it's so evident what she was trying to do. She was trying to sell good, she was trying to sell me, like, she was trying to sell me into sex trafficking. And it is so scary to me, because these stuff, like, you always think like, oh, like, this stuff is so surreal, like, it's not, yeah, you always think, oh, these stuff are so surreal, like, it's not, you're above it, it will never happen to you, like, it can happen to you. Like, imagine if I was gullible, like, you know, a lot of people that go missing. Imagine if I was gullible, I was like, oh, like, you know, I want to go to Mexico, I'm going to take a boat to Mexico with her, probably I'll be gone, and my parents or nobody would know where I was or where I went or what really happened to me. Like, these stuff are serious, like, honestly, like, it's really serious. And honestly, the only reason why I never reported her is because I never had no strong evidence about what she was really trying to do. And then shortly before, like, she linked up with me, she did give birth. I was like, she gave birth to twins, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave her to God, and God is going to take care of it. But honestly, from that time, I never spoke to her, she never spoke to me, I never tried reaching out to her, she never tried reaching out to me, and I just left it at that. I hope you guys enjoy my story time. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, share, tell me if it is that you want me to do more story time, and I'll do more story time, because I have a lot of stories to tell. I have a lot of stories to share. I have a lot of stories to share. So yeah, thank you for watching.